Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you about my recent trip to China, my home country. Due to hiatus like my visa and COVID, it was the very first time I went back in 6 years. 6 years doesn't make you feel like a total stranger, but it's long enough for you to look at the country, the society from a new angle. Things that I used to take for granted have become a little bit of a surprise, like free public restrooms and cheap public transportation. While some other things are not that pleasant, like when I go to a restaurant, most of the time I was asked to order my meal on my phone by scanning the QR code. Believe it or not, I still enjoy having random conversations with people who work at the restaurant. Pollution definitely gets better these days, both air and water. Among all the places I visited, not a single canal smells bad. Back in the days, stinky canals and rivers were so common that you must hold your breath when passing by. Another big improvement is overall service level. Essentially, people know what they're doing and they can be very patient even if you ask a stupid question. I was worried about not being able to board the train because my memory tells me that it's difficult to travel with an expired ID card in China. But it turned out to be okay. The machine at the gate couldn't read my passport, but I was taken care of by the ticket inspector. She clearly knows the drill. Overall public safety has got even better, thanks to the all-around security cameras. I know, living in a surveillance society and having your every move being monitored can definitely feel dystopian. But selfishly speaking, I don't mind giving out my digital privacy for just a month in a year, especially since I'm traveling. One thing I think that got worse is road safety. Most of the main roads in Chinese cities were built in a way that separate the vehicles from the bicycles. That's good, but the supposedly slower bike lanes are now congested with delivery scooters. The maximum speed of a scooter is 25 kilometers per hour, which is not that high, but it's dangerous when you mix them with kids and elder people who ride their bicycles at 10 kilometers per hour. I had to watch out for those who want to overtake me, and gosh, those noises from the horns, it terrifies you. Having said that, it wasn't a full surprise or a big disappointment for me, because as food delivery and online shopping becoming the new routine in China, you sort of expect things to go in that direction. These conveniences come with a cost. I'm sure that most people would find China a very modern, well-organized country. It attracts people who are unsatisfied with the bias against China in Western media. But for foreigners, China is still a country where you still cannot visit it on a whim. The government has been slow to address the various obstacles for foreign travelers like visa and VPN, not to mention language barrier and payment restrictions. But maybe that's a good thing if you're looking for a true adventure. Once you're set up with the most commonly used mobile apps, China definitely has a lot to offer in terms of experience and scenery. I lived in China for 18 years, but I barely scratched the surface. So that's why I always try to visit as many places as I can when I come home. This time, I did a small tour around Anhui and Jiangxi. The best part of it is definitely the town of Huizhou. This area consists of numerous quiet and beautiful villages away from the bustle of the city. Although Huizhou is pretty much irrelevant today in terms of economy, in the late Ming Dynasty, it was home to the empire's most powerful regional mercantile group, the Huishang. These merchants were not just about making money, but they also contributed generously to art and welfare in their home villages. The houses that they commissioned to build, the furniture they curated, later became a style of its own and had a great influence on southern China as a whole. Sadly, most of the houses aren't maintained very well, and if you catch a glimpse inside, the living standard is quite concerning. Each tourist has to pay $20 for entrance, but I wonder how much of that money would go into the locals' pocket. Speaking of money, I was definitely curious about how China's economy is doing. The answer is not very well. When I was little, there used to be a huge variety of shops and stores along the streets. Stores selling books, hardwares, appliances, you name it. But now, majority of them have been converted into snack stores and beverage shops, including cafes like Luckin Coffee. Personally, I love Chinese snacks and probably drink way more bubble tea than I should. But I still think that the shrinking and closing of shops that sell durables indicates a lopsided economy that lacks real demand. The Lipstick effect says that when the economy is going downhill, consumers will be more willing to buy less costly luxury goods, a $50 meal or $30 massage, instead of buying durables that are more expensive. You can't argue that people are not spending less, they're just buying everything online. But that's exactly the problem. Aggregating all sales channels to online platforms drives up competition, both for physical and online stores. More competition brings prices down as well as profit, so business owners have to work more hours to earn the same amount of money. And when you don't have big chunks of time on your own to do sports or go on vacations, then the most efficient way to relax and feel rewarded is to get yourself a nice dinner or go shopping during weekends. Therefore, we see more restaurants and shopping malls. The loop continues. That may be an overly pessimistic view, but I don't want to draw simple conclusions like China is good or bad. For me, it's always home. In fact, I had a fantastic time with families and friends. Just hearing people talking Chinese and rubbing shoulders with passengers on the subway make me feel happy and grounded. I wish I can go back more often. That's it for my long awaited journey. Thank you for watching.